Namo Buddhaya. Good morning to Acharya Vijaya, Sister Buddhini, and our lovely brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Happy morning. Today, I'm continuing the last session of this Sanghanussati, recollection of the Sangha. So to recap, the objectives of these qualities that we have, the qualities of the three jewels that we have gone through. It's for us, when we chant, we do it with mindfulness, with understanding. And with this understanding, it will increase our faith. The faith is the foremost importance in our spiritual development. Like in the 5 spiritual power, faith is number 1. In the 7 treasures, as a spiritual cultivator, faith is also number 1. So like what we shared just now, faith is the important one that for us to walk this spiritual path. So last 2 weeks, Brother Ananda has shared on the first 4 qualities of the Sangha: Supatipano, Ujupatipano, Nyaya Patipano, and Samichi Patipano. So these qualities of the disciples of the Blessed One, they have good conduct, upright conduct, wise conduct, and dutiful conduct. And last week, Sister Shanti also shared on the 4 pairs of persons and 8 types of individuals. And these four pairs of persons, the Arya Sangha, they walk the path of awakening. And they are the one, they are paired into 4 pairs, according to their stage of enlightenment, the one who has entered the path, the Magga, and the one practicing to realize the fruit itself, the Phala. So the 4 pairs of persons. First, we have the stream enterer and the one practicing for realization of the fruit of stream entry. And this is considered as first pair. And the second pair, the one's returner, the one practicing for realization of the fruit of one's returning. And this is considered as the second pair. And the third pair, the non-returner, the one practicing for realization of the fruit of non-returning, the third pair. And the fourth pair, the Arahant, the highest level of the enlightenment, the one practicing for the realization of the fruit of Arahantship, the 4th pair. These 4 pair of persons, in this Ajanya Sutta, the Buddha also likened these 4 pairs of persons to have these 8 qualities. In this Ajana Sutta, the qualities, the Buddha mentioned about the qualities of the thoroughbred, the horse, the thoroughbred that is suitable for the king. They are strong, they are of good breed, they behave themselves, and they are trainable. So likewise, the Buddha also mentioned, he said, a monk endowed with these 8 qualities is worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of respect, and incomparable field of merit for the world. So which 8? The Buddha mentioned, this monk, he is virtuous and he conducts in accordance with the code of conduct for the monks, the Patimokkha, and he is restrained. When given food, whether coarse or fine, he eats it carefully without complaining. He accepts what is given with gratitude, and he feels disgust at bad conduct in body, speech, and mind because of his good conduct. So the misconduct to him is something not likable. And he is composed and easy to live with and doesn't upset other monks. Since they are living in a community, so he will have these qualities of easy to live with, and he doesn't harass other monks with bad habits. And whatever tricks or deceits or wiles that he has, he shows them to his teacher so that his teacher can try to straighten them out. So since he has teacher, he is trained under the teacher and also together with his spiritual companions. So he show openly what he has. If he needs to be changed, then he will accept it and easily to be advised. And when in training, he gives rise to the thought, whether the other monks want to train or not, I will train here. He is eager to learn and eager to be trained. And always walk in straight path, the Noble Eightfold Path. He is very clear about his mission, has strong determination and persistency to walk the path, and without even leaving only his skin, his bone, he will still put in the great effort and persistency to continue to practice. So these are the qualities. A monk is worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of respect, and an incomparable field of merits to the world. So let us see in terms of the individual qualities. So Sanghanussati, the last 5 qualities: Ahuneyo, Pahuneyo, Dakkineyo, Anjali Karaniyo, Anuttarang Punya Ketang Lokasati. One who is worthy of offerings, worthy of hospitality, worthy of gifts, worthy of reverential salutation, and it is an incomparable field of merit to the world. Ahuneyo, worthy of offerings, worthy of an offerings of the gift, and this gift is what one brings that is fit for offering, meaning someone, a devotee, brought it from afar and worthy to be given to the monk, to the Sangha, who is morally virtuous. And normally, we have these 4 requisites for the Sangha members: the food, robes, medicines, lodgings, accommodation or kuti, monastery, and their medicines and their robes and food, daily food. The Sangha is worthy of receiving the gift because with their receipt, this gift becomes very great fruit. And that's why it is worthy of offerings. This is the time when internationally all the Sangha communities, they just concluded their rain season. And we can see that monasteries, centers, Buddhist centers, they organize robe offering ceremony. So this is also a very great opportunity every year to offer to the Sangha members, which bear great fruits. Okay, just share a story of this Dhammapada 107. This is about Sariputta's nephew. When the Buddha was in the Veluvana monastery, Thera Sariputta, he went to visit his nephew, who was a young Brahmin. So he asked the nephew, so how have you been doing any offerings lately? Then the young Brahmin said, oh yes, I have been offering a goat for fire worship every month that will bring me to the Brahma world in my next existence. Then Thera Sariputta told him, he said, no, that is not the way to have existence in the Brahma world in the future. It is your teacher has given you a wrong teaching. So Sariputta brought his nephew to see the Buddha. Then the Buddha told this young Brahmin, he said, young Brahmin, to offer a goat for fire worship, it is not the correct way to worship. If a person who would give honor to someone with cultivated mind, even for a little moment, that homage is even far better than 100 years of sacrifice, fire sacrifice. Then he mentioned in verse 107 of Dhammapada, he said, even if for 100 years one will tend the fire in the forest, if one were to honor those of cultivated minds for even a moment, that homage is even far better than 100 years of sacrifice. So after listening to the Buddha's advice, this young Brahmin attained Sotapatti level. So that is the Buddha mentioned about how important it is to have honor for those with cultivated mind, for those who are virtuous. Pahuneyo, worthy of hospitality. Normally, when our visitors come to our house, so let's say, example, you are staying outstation, and then your parents came to visit you, and what will you do? You will prepare, you will clean the house, prepare the room for your parents or your relatives and friends, and prepare good food, cook good meal for them. So that is how we show our hospitality to our visitors from afar. What more if, let's say, these visitors are those with pure and enduring qualities, the Sangha. So these Sangha members, they are worthy of hospitality. When they come afar to visit us, this is our responsibility or our joy to receive them, to welcome them, and prepare the needful requisites for them. I remember we used to have visiting monks and nuns at Nalanda Center. So before that, before we receive them, normally a few days before, we will clean the place, and Mrs. Chu and her Dana team will be very busy and joyfully arranging for the Dana food, and all members, in fact, will be so joyful and start to think what to bring for Dana. And I remember personally, the latest visiting bhikkhuni that we have in the November 2019, before our MCO started in 2020 March. Ayya Dipankara actually came for a retreat. So before she came, a committee arranged, okay, the responsibility of individual committee members to prepare, some in charge of food, some in charge of venue, some in charge of preparation of materials. And I was very happy and very grateful to be able to have this opportunity to host, to be attendant to Ayya Dipankara. That is the hospitality that we show to the one that is respectable, and also to show them in terms of our honor to them for attending to their talks, for listening to them. That is also to show our hospitality to them. So because of their yeah, because of their spiritual cultivation, they are worthy of our hospitality. Okay, Dakineyo, worthy of gifts. So like I mentioned, Dakineyo is what is offered out of gift, out of faith, by devotees with the expectation of receiving benefits in their future lives. It is called dakina. And the Sangha is worthy of that gift because with the gift, it bears great fruit and it bears great merits. So they are worthy of gifts, dakina. There are other meaning of dakina. To note extra notes, dakina is also referring to offerings made for the benefit of our departed by way of dedication of merits to them. This was stated in the Tirokuda Sutta. And also, dakina is a teacher's honorarium. I think here we have a lot of students of the Nalanda Institute of Malaysia. So we know our teachers. They spend their time and efforts to have a tutelage for us in the Dhamma Vinaya. So as a respect and as a gratitude towards the end of the course, we will prepare a dakina to honor our teachers, to show our respect and gratitude to our teacher. And this dakina means also right side. Hence, when we also, as a practice, we also, when we pass by a respected person or a respected, example, Buddha statue, we will also pass by on our right side as a respect. In the Pali term, there is a term called padakinang karoti, the act of going round on the right side. In Sanskrit, we call pradakshina. I think this term is very common for a lot of us, especially when we go to pilgrimage. We do a lot of this pradakshina, go round on our right side on the objects of respect as a salutation. And in the Orient, in Asian, we were told since young, when we give gifts to anyone of respect or in any respect, anyone, we will always use our right hand to offer the gifts as a respect. So this is dakineyo, offering worthy of gifts. Anjali karaniyo, worthy of reverential salutation. As a respect, as a sign of respect, we have the salutation with our lotus palms as a sign of respect. And when the Buddha also mentioned this in the Mahanama Sutta, the Buddha mentioned this. When one recollects the virtues of the Dhamma in this way, the Blessed One's community of disciples who have practiced well, who have practiced right straightforwardly, and so on until they are worthy of gifts, worthy of offerings, then our mind is not obsessed by lust, not obsessed by hate, not obsessed by delusion. So at this time, when we do very respectfully, this time our mind is clear and we are inspired by the Sangha. So we experiences joy, calmness, ease, and concentration. So that is reverential salutation. We reflect on the virtues, and we do it with much respect and reverence. Anuttarang punya ketang lokasa It is an incomparable field of merits to the world. During the Buddha's time, along the Ganga River, so there are a lot, because at that time, agriculture is the main source of economy. So everywhere you can see field. So what is the significance of this field? If the field is fertile and plenty, keta meaning field. If the field is fertile and plenty, then crops will grow well. Crops, rice, fruits, etc. will grow well. So likewise, by having these spiritual benefits, we will also have these merits, the field of merits. And this field of merits is everywhere. We can do it. We can do it anywhere to the Sangha community, and we will obtain spiritual benefits and merits from that. So the Sangha is an incomparable place in all the world for growing these world's merits. So for the various kinds of merits, it will bring welfare and happiness for the world. It will bring welfare and happiness for the people who take the who do the good act. Then this happiness and this welfare will be spreaded in the world. So you see the effect of these merits. Therefore, the Sangha is a supreme field of merits for the world. Figuratively, keta means field. So, fertile field will bear fertile fruits. So, if for us, we have we deposit good deeds, we do good things, then goodness will be upon the doer of the good, or the giver of the gifts. And in this Vimana Vatu commentary, there are 3 accomplishments mentioned for this merit making. Okay, accomplishment of the field, as we mentioned, if we do good, then this field will be referring to the Sangha, noble Sangha, the Buddha, and the awakened disciples of the Buddha. Accomplishment of the mind of the giver. When the giver does the offering, there is purity of intention. There is this, the mind is free from greed, hatred, and delusion. The mind is filled with joy and happiness. Accomplishment of means, that is, the procurement of the gift is through proper manner. It is through virtuous way. Is not through illegal manner. So with this, by doing this merit making, we are actually accomplishment of these 3 accomplishments, Sangpati. So we'd like to share this Vimana Vatu is in the Khuddaka Nikaya, one of the books in the Khuddaka Nikaya. In this book, it mentioned about the divine aspect of the Buddha and his awakened disciples. How, for one who has done any good deeds and with the merits that acquired, this particular giver will be reborn in the heavenly realm. Let us share one story from this Vimana Vatu. We'd like to share this. One of them, rice crust givers mentioned. During the Buddha's time, Buddha was staying in Rajagaha, and at that time, Venerable Mahakashapa also around that area. Then one day, after 7 days of deep concentration, Venerable Mahakashapa, he woke up from his deep concentration. And Mahakashapa is one who have great compassion for the poor and the needy. So as he got up from his deep concentration, then he was thinking, who can I benefit today? Who can I support that the person can be supported to have a good rebirth? So as he looked around, he saw one lady. And it so happened at that time in Rajagaha, there was this epidemic of cholera. Not COVID, it's cholera. So at that time, members of the householders all passed away because of this disease. And at that time, the disease cholera has no cure yet. So a lot of people died. And this lady escaped from her house, abandoned everything that she had, because what she's thinking of is to escape from this death. So as she escaped from the house without any belongings, without any food with her, she escaped and ran over to another village, and one family have sympathized with her. And so this family let her stay behind her house. And every day, these house people will offer her with some balanced rice porridge or balanced rice crust. So on that day, this Venerable Mahakashapa saw her in his divine eye, and he noted that this lady, because of her past karma, if she died, she is going to die, and she will be reborn in the hell, and she will suffer. So with great compassion for her, Venerable Mahakashapa think, I will come to see her, and she will give me the rice crust as an offering. And after that, when she passed away with the merits that she had, she will be reborn in the heaven world. So after making his decision, Venerable Mahakashapa walked towards the place. And King Saka actually saw Venerable Mahakashapa. So he actually disguised as a man, and he offered good food for Venerable Mahakashapa, good curry, all from the Deva world, King Saka from the Deva world. But Venerable Mahakashapa, his decision was very clear. I am helping the lady. So, and also he discovered the disguise of King Saka. So he asked King Saka not to avoid someone who is someone who will be suffering to be free. So let him be the one to save. So Venerable Mahakashapa went to the lady. The lady was so joyful and so happy to see Venerable Mahakashapa. So she paid reverence to him, and but she was thinking, I have nothing to offer to the Venerable. But Venerable Mahakashapa indicated, you have the rice crust given by the householder of this house. So you can offer this to me. After listening, the lady offered this rice crust, very coarse rice crust, to the Venerable Mahakashapa. So receiving it, Venerable received it, ate it, and he left. The lady was full of joy, and at the moment of giving, she was free from all her fear. She was free from all the worries that she has. No greed, no hatred, no delusion. just joy and joy and happiness. And after Venerable left, this lady passed away at the night itself, and she was reborn in the Deva world. And once, according to this commentary, once anyone was reborn in the Deva world, a mansion will be, beautiful mansion will be there for them. And in this commentary also, there will be a short description, say how this lady or whoever was born in the Deva world, then what has she done? So normally they will have this closing of why this person was born there. So apparently this lady supposed to have done some bad deed in the past, and if she was reborn without the help of Venerable Mahakashyapa, she will be reborn in the health realm. So with the help of the enlightened one, the awakened disciple of the Buddha, Venerable Mahakashyapa, she was reborn in the heaven realm. So it's very important, the advantage of merit making. Yeah. So during the Buddha's time, we have a lot of when Buddha was enlightened, he was the only one. So we have the Buddha and his Dhamma, Buddha Dhamma, but without the Sangha. But after the 2 months, after the Buddha taught the first sermon to the 5 monks, then there was the first Sangha community, and later on we have other Sangha community join in to the Buddha. And as the Buddha mentioned, go forth monks, to teach the beautiful Dhamma. Be beautiful in the beginning, beautiful in the middle, beautiful in the end, for the welfare and happiness of all beings. Go forth. So that's why slowly the monk community become more. And what is inspiring, the great elders of the awakened ones during the Buddha's time, they are the inspiration models for us, a reflection of the noble Sangha, the spiritual community of the saints. So it's very good for us to reflect the qualities of the Sangha, we will have this faith. We will arise our faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. That we know with the faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, it will support us in our learning, support us in our practice. Dhamma Vinaya, for us to acquire wisdom and compassion, and also the state of Nibbana. So we also, in our current time, we have many notable and proficient Sangha members who have very selflessly preserving the Dhamma, preserving the Dhamma Vinaya for us and for the future generation. So we are very grateful to all the notable and proficient noble ones for doing this great deed for all of us. Okay, so giving, for quote from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, quote, "Giving is recognized as a virtue in every religion and in every civilized society, and it clearly benefits both the giver and the receiver. The one who receives is relieved from the pangs of want, and those who give, who take comfort from the joy of the gifts bring to others." So giving is one of the virtue, and it's bring goodness to both the recipient as well as the giver. So in this sutta, the general Siha Sutta, the Buddha, or when General Siha approached the Buddha and asked, what is the fruit of giving? What is the benefits of giving visible in the here and now in this life? So the Buddha mentioned, he said, if one who give, then we can see that this person is dear and charming to people at large. In general, they are liked and dear to people and by people also. So good people, people of integrity, admire one who is generous, a master of giving. And the fine reputation of one who is generous, master of giving, is spread and far. You say, oh, such and so is a very good, is very virtuous and also very generous. So the reputation spread far and wide. And also, when one is generous, when approaches in any assembly of people, noble warriors, Brahmans, householders, or contemplatives, he or she does confidently and without embarrassment. So likewise, for this, in our present society, if you are working in your householder, in your family, or in your neighborhood, you are always confident wherever you are. Because why? You know what is, you have the wisdom to decide what is right and wrong to do. And at the breakup of the body, after that, one who is generous will reappear in the good destination, a heavenly world. Okay. Lady Vishaka, yeah, she was the foremost female lady supporter of Buddha during the Buddha Gautama's time. He was awarded this title by accolade by the Buddha, say that Lady Vishaka, she is the foremost female lay supporters among all. So because of her sila, virtues, and because of her generosity in supporting the Sangha members, that's why her reputation also spread far and wide, even until today. Yeah. So because of her generosity and because of her sila, cultivation of sila, during the Buddha Gautama's time, Lady Vishaka was born as a child of a wealthy man. And when she left home to stay with her husband, the father gave her a lot of wealth and servants for her also to support the Buddha and the Sangha community. She was transferred from Rajagaha towards Savatthi, nearer to the Jetavana monastery. That's right, she had more opportunities to pay homage and also to do offerings to the Buddha as well as the Buddha's disciples. And because of her sila and her virtues and her generosity, she possessed 5 beautiful feminine features according to the culture at that time. Beautiful hair, beautiful skin, beautiful bone, yeah, beautiful teeth, etc. And but to her, that is so not important. What she wants is to make merits, to do goodness during the dispensation of the Buddha, so that she can attain the higher level of enlightenment. So during her time also, she spent a lot of money to help to build this monastery near to Jetavana monastery, so that the Buddha and the Buddha's Sangha community have the opportunity to have this accommodation. So because of that also, she created a lot of merits. Yeah. However, for her merits to be able to be to be called the foremost female lady supporter of Buddha Gautama is not just within this lifetime of the Buddha Gautama. It happened previous life. Yeah, in her previous life, she was a devout follower of other Buddhas, the Buddhas at that time. So she used to go listen to Dhamma talks. And there was one time she passed by open area, and she saw a Buddha statue. And the statue was very run down, cracked, and the gold was peeling off. So she had in her mind that I will repair this Buddha statue to its original. So she actually did it, spent a lot of money to help to repair and resuscitate this Buddha statue to be beautiful, shining for the people there to pay homage. Yeah, and after that, during the Buddha Padumuttara's time, she aspired to become the status of master giver. Because why? She witnessed, during the Buddha Padumuttara's time, she witnessed the Buddha gave this honor to another lady who also have this great foremost supporter of the Buddha and his disciple. So at that time, she aspired with very strong determination, and life after life, she continued with her generosity and cultivation of her sila. And during the Buddha Kasyapa's time, there was the Buddha before Buddha Gautama. She was born princess. Yeah, and after that, she also have a lot of she was wealthy, but she still continued to be the supporter of the Buddha and his disciple. So when she was reborn during the Buddha Gautama's time, she was born as a wealthy man, the child of a wealthy man, and continued to do merits. And after that, she was given this title, foremost female lay disciple, or foremost female lay supporter of the Buddha. Yeah, so she, with her aspiration, determination, she continued with the action, good action. That's why she achieved it. And she continued until she stayed until apparently 120 years, continue to do merits. Yeah. And this Sivali Thera need to little mention about this Thera. During the Buddha's time, he was called the foremost disciple of the monks to receive requisites. Why was that? So during this Buddha's time, he was born in the family of the king and queen named Koliya and Supavasa. But before even he was reborn, he was born before he was born, still in Queen Supavasa's womb. He brought a lot of fortune to the family, to the kingdom, and the whole country was very prosperous because crops grew well. Everyone was well fed and healthy. So why was that? It was because foremost among monks in obtaining requisites, because of his past karma. Okay, so during this time, the Buddha Gautama's time, when he was invited to join the Sangha, he happily joined the Sangha in order to clear whatever bad karma that he had last time. So after he joined, right, wherever he go, there people will crowd around him to give him offerings, to give him gifts. And this is what the Buddha Gautama said, he said during his that was because of his karma during his past life that give these results. So all the monks, right, whenever they go, especially when they go long distance, and if long distance in the forest, long distance in the desert, where food is a problem, difficult. However, the Buddha will always mention, whenever Terra Sivali is around, there will not be shortage of food. Why? Even the devas will review to donate provisions along the way. So even long journey, so they are not worried because they will be supported. The devas will be there to support. That was because of his past karma. And because during his past life, during the Buddha Padubuddhara's time, he witnessed the Buddha conferring Sudarsana as the monk foremost in receiving gains. So likewise, he also made the determination and the aspiration, say that I also want to be the monk foremost in receiving requisites. So it happened during Buddha Gautama's time. So that was after such a long world cycles. But he made it because after making the determination, the aspiration, he continued to do good, to cultivate sila, and to do offerings for the Sangha and the Buddha. Yeah. Also, special when he made this determination was during a very special occasion when he offered honey, fresh honey, to the Buddha without getting any money. Once he knew that this honey is to be offered to the Buddha, he just offered it without getting any money from the kings, from the villager. Yeah, from the villager. Yeah, for you, I give you a lot of money. 1,000 gold coins is a lot of money. You see, you sell it to me, the fresh honey. But once he knew why they want to pay so much money to buy the fresh honey, then he knew something is very auspicious. So once he knew that it is offered to the Buddha, he just offered it with a very pure mind, very deep, much faith, and he made a determination that in the future he wants to be one also. He wants to be one to be the foremost to receive requisites as a monk. Yeah. So the cumulative karma brings results. Okay. So the practice of giving, great gifts, making a personal offering by way. So for the monks, we normally the appropriate items, alms food, robes, shelter, medicines, even education. Nowadays, a lot of monks they come overseas and they have their education locally. So we also can do the offering to them for their education and other allowable offerings. And as example, hospitalization, or even as a free consultation for health. Yeah. So any offerings for any of this area, okay, because of their purity, they are the recipient virtuous, then such an act, right, it takes time. It's not one-off. We can see from the example of Lady Vishaka and also Terra Sivali. It takes a long time, yeah, because those on the path, they take time, yeah, they take time to consume their meals, to consume their requisites. So it is also as a foundation and seed of spiritual development for us to free our mind from defilements. Just now reflecting on Mahanama Sutta. When we give to the recipient of holy virtues, yeah, pure, and also the intention the good intention, wholesome intention of the donor before, during, and after. The joy that we have during, before, during, and after. And timing of giving, the right time to give. Example, at this moment, katina, and also katina or the alms food during the right time, morning dana, afternoon dana, and suitable requisites, medicine, vitamins. So with all this, the practice of giving, it brings merits for one's happiness in this life and life after. So friends, it is for all of us to have this faith, in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and knowing that whatever good karma that we have, to whatever good merits that we have done, this will bring fruits. Yeah, just like the field. If we diligently nurture the field, after sowing the seeds, we nurture the field. We nurture it with a lot of cultivation, practice continuously, learning and continuous practice. Then these merits will become our happiness. Will bring happiness and welfare in this life and life after. So thank you so much, brothers and sisters, and may you have good health, long life, beauty, happiness, strength, wisdom, and accomplish all your aspirations. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm with much respect and gratitude, I will end this sharing and pass it over to Brother Ananda. Brother Ananda, he will do a wrapping up, a summary of the Sanghanussati. So thank you, and sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Sister Kah Hong, for covering the last few qualities of Sanghanussati. So as a wrap up, I will continue to talk about the benefits of recollecting Sanghanussati, the effort to recollect the qualities of the Sangha and the benefits to us. Now, as a quick overview of what we have covered over, including today and two previous sessions, we went over the qualities of the Sangha, primarily having practiced well, straightforwardly, practiced methodically, practiced masterfully. And of course, the 4 pairs and 8 types of individuals. And just now, Mr. Kah Hong covering the worthiness of the Sangha. Now, you will notice that why I have presented these 9 qualities of the Sangha in this fashion, that means the top portion, then the middle portion, and the bottom portion, primarily because the top portion, having the first 4 qualities of Sangha, actually show you the earnestness, the determination of the Sangha members, the disciples of the Buddha, in wanting to practice and walk the path. So the first 4 qualities talk about following the Noble Eightfold Path, avoiding the extremes, having Nibbana as your goal, and the 4th, what they call quality of the Sangha, that of being worthy of offerings and so on, and salutations. And as a result of these first 4 qualities, it is inevitable that a disciple of the Buddha would gain stages of enlightenment. And of course, the lower stage would that be of Sotapan, the first stage of sainthood, which is given in the middle portion, the yellowish box. The 4 types of individuals, 4 types of persons, that would be starting with Sotapan. And of course, elaborating, Sister Kah Hong and Sister Shanti has already elaborated, giving the different 8 types of individuals. Those are the results of the practice elaborated in the earlier portion. As a result of that, these Sangha members being at least a Sotapan, and many of them during the Buddha's time were Arahats, become worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy offerings, worthy of respect. And all these four aspects of being worthy of are an incomparable field of merit, primarily because they are helping us. Now, when the Sangha members go on Pintacara, they are all giving us an opportunity to make merits. Merits have a twofold function. One is to make our the later portion of our lives comfortable and so on. But at the same time, it allows those people who are not so interested in merits, but actually to practice and kusala actions, that means wholesome actions. Now, when you perform a wholesome deed, there are two aspects of it. One is the idea of perfecting oneself. That is the kusala side. But when those who are practicing the wholesome side with the aim of also walking the Noble Eightfold Path and gaining enlightenment, finally, that is the kusala side. But when you do that, automatically the person practicing wholesome actions with the thought of walking the path also gains merits. This is punya. But there are those among many Buddhists, whether they know it or do not know, when they perform a wholesome action, they do not perform it because they want to walk the path, not because they want to gain nibbana, but they want to gain merits. That is their intention. So the action outwardly to other people may look the same, like offering food to the monastic Sangha and other wholesome actions, but the intention of the person performing all those actions may be different. Some people want to gain merits only, and that's all they gain. They gain merits, and which will help them in the later portions of their lives or even in the next life. But there are those of us that don't really pay attention to the punya aspect or the meritorious aspect, but pay attention to cultivating wholesome qualities, ridding oneself of greed, hatred, and delusion. So when you do that, you are actually preparing yourself to what they call walk the first qualities of the Sangha. Although you are not a member of the Sangha yet, you are not a Sotapan yet, but you are already practicing well. You are practicing straightforwardly, methodically, and masterfully, step by step, although you are not a Sangha member. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, as you practice kusala actions with the aim of acquiring wholesome skills, that means gaining the paramis, you also gain the meritorious karmic energies, which also help you in your further practice in later portions of your life. So now here I go on to sutta which Sister Kah Hong has earlier in brief mentioned, the Dutiya Mahanama Sutta from the Anguttara Nikaya book of 11. Here, Mahanama or Sakyan, when the Buddha was in Kapilavatthu, Mahanama approached the Buddha, and the Mahanama asked, and the Buddha replied in a certain fashion that it is fitting for a clansman like you to approach the Buddha and ask, for those of us living by means of various dwellings for the mind, by means of dwelling place, how should we live? And the Buddha says, one who is aroused to practice is one of conviction, one of confidence, or in the Pali word, one of saddha. Not without saddha. One aroused to practice is one of persistence aroused. That means there is a lot of energy involved, enthusiasm in wanting to practice. And moving on, when you practice, you establish yourself in mindfulness. Not just when you're sitting in meditation, but in all your everyday activities. Establish in mindfulness. And with that, moving onward, centered in concentration. And when you are centered in concentration, you also practice discernment. Discernment is acquiring of wisdom, of analysis, and so on. So these are the step-by-step things we need to practice, which in a way we have covered in earlier sessions. Now, for benefits of recollecting. Now here the Buddha talks about the 6 qualities. Now, although I'm wrapping up for Sanghanussati, here is clearly mentioned that you should also practice Buddhanussati, recollecting the Buddha, recollecting the Dhamma, Dhammanussati, recollecting the Sangha, which is Sanghanussati, and going number 4 onwards, recollecting your own virtues, okay, that you have been practicing. You are able to say that, oh, I can attest, I'm the witness, I'm honest, I say that I have been doing this conscientiously, I've gained these virtues up to this stage, and so on. And number 5, recollecting your own generosity, chaga leading on to dana. And of course, recollecting the devas. Now, for more information, you need to read the sutta as to what the Buddha means by recollecting the devas, especially. Now, on the aspect of Sanghanussati, the Buddha says, is mind not overcome with passion, not overcome by hatred, not overcome by delusion. His mind leads straight, based on the Sangha. And here, the Buddha continues, and when the mind is headed straight, the disciple of the noble ones gains a sense of the goal, gains a sense of Dhamma, gains joy connected with the Dhamma. In one who is joyful, rapture arises. In one who is rapturous, the body grows calm. One whose body is calm experiences ease. In one at ease, the mind becomes concentrated. So clearly, all this recollecting and knowing and understanding meaning of each and every one of those qualities, especially in Sanghanussati that I'm covering here, then it actually is able to calm you down, especially for people who have a lot of anxiety. This recollection allows you to steadily, step by step, calm yourself. How do you do that? Because you gain a sense of the goal. You gain a sense of what is Dhamma. Joy arises in you. And when joy arises, rapture also arises later. And when rapture arises, your body becomes calm. And with this calm body, there is ease in your experience, and the mind becomes concentrated. So this is leading on to deeper and deeper levels of practice through recollecting the qualities of the Sangha. And of course, similarly, recollecting the Buddha qualities of the Buddha, recollecting the qualities of the Dhamma too, will also produce this calming effect that allows you to go into, finally, concentration, into deep meditation. So, and the Buddha continued, Mahanama, you should develop this recollection of the Sangha while you are walking, while you are standing, while you are sitting, while you are lying down, while you are busy at work, while you are resting in your home crowded with children. That means in all activities that we may be doing, and in all postures also. So this recollection is strongly recommended by the Buddha, and in this case to Mahanama, his fellow kinsman. Now, moving to another sutta, I have presented this before. The recollection of this helps with the persistence of the true Dhamma. So anyone who wishes that the Buddha Sadhana, especially the Sat Dhamma or true Dhamma, is able to last long and benefit more and more people. Okay, in this particular sutta, we talked about the deterioration. The Saddha Patirupaka Sutta is talking about the deterioration of or falling away of the Buddha Sasana. The Buddha says that the monks, nuns, laymen, and laywomen should maintain respect and reverence for the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, and of course, finally, the training that the Buddha has laid out, and finally, also the concentration that you develop when you recollect the qualities and so on. And all these 5 things lead to the continuation, persistence, and endurance of the true teaching. So your action of recollecting, even Sanghanussati, helps with the continuation, persistence of and enduring of the true teaching. And yet another sutta, also of the same name, Tutiya Mahanama Sutta, but this one is from the Samyutta Nikaya, chapter number 55. Here the Buddha says, is when a noble disciple has experiential confidence. That means has saddha based on his or her own practice or experience of practicing the Dhamma. Then the person will develop confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And they also have ethical conduct. That means the practice of sila. They also, which leads to immersion or concentration. So for a person in this life, even though practicing recollection of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, for some reason did not gain the first stage of sainthood, not a sotapan yet. But for some reason, how does the person continue into the next life and yet be able to be associated with the Buddha Sasana, be associated with the true teaching? The Buddha says, suppose there was a tree that slants, slopes, and inclines to the east. If it was cut off at the root, where would it fall? Sir, it would fall in the direction that it slants, slopes, and inclines. And the Buddha concludes, in the same way, a noble disciple who has four things, the above four of the recollection of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, have ethical conduct that leads to concentration. That person was the slants, slopes, and inclines towards Nibbana, extinguishment. It means Nibbana. So that is how we can gain the benefit through the recollection, as mentioned. So over here, I have already shown you at least 3 suttas that tell essentially the same story, that the benefit of recollecting the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and of course, leading on to our practice of sila and into meditation. And earlier, the first sutta, it leads to us calming ourselves down, that prepares ourselves for meditation. So in the practical terms, not just standing, sitting, and going about busy ways, but if we just sit on our meditation cushion, we recollect the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and so on, that already calms us down because we understand the meaning and the purpose of all this. And it facilitates our going into meditation. So hopefully that meditation session would be fruitful. So that is all I have regarding the wrapping up of the Sanghanussati. So Sabbe Satta Sukhi Hontu. May the good doctrine long endure.